Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're watching Rude Rangers TV.
You're listening to Rudy Radio, powered by Rude Rangers Entertainment. I'm Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema Organization, and this is Talk with Terra, a show that highlights fantastic filmmakers, artists, entertainers, entrepreneurs from all walks of life. We're committed to introducing you to individuals, organizations, and projects of which you're not necessarily aware. And we do this with the intention of uplifting, empowering, and enlightening you. If you can, please share this episode on all your social media. We love it if you text your friends and ask them to tune in. Today, I am so pleased to have this amazing guest today to share with you, listening audience. You are in for a fabulous treat. This young lady who I had the pleasure of meeting just exudes such quiet strength and sweetness, but just a woman of purpose who's truly walking in her own divine destiny. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Miss Karen Wilson. Hi, Miss Karen.
Hi, Terra. Good to be here today.
So good to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I tell you, there are many folks who I'm just so excited that our paths cross because they serve not only as a positive opportunity, to meet, but also an inspiration. And you truly are. From the time that I met you and we had the opportunity to share time together, you have been nothing but a complete inspiration to me. And I want you to know that publicly.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That's
absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, you have done so much. I don't even know where to begin, but I'm just going to start with this one particular question. For the audience who may not know, Miss Wilson, she's a writer, director, producer, actress. She's been in films, Broadway. But I want to start with this one question. What drew you, Karen, into media, period?
I would say the love of storytelling. I've always loved stories, rather it's someone telling their life story. I used to love watching the newscaster on TV telling stories. I loved hearing about people's their life stories. I've always been drawn to stories. And, growing up, I grew up with dolls and I would just make up stories. I would have different scenes. And I think I was being prepared then, for now. I just was drawn to stories. And I'm a very visual person. That's the way I learn, is a lot visually. So I was always drawn to the art of storytelling and just it being in different creative forms and different platforms. And that drew me in since I was a child. And I knew that I had to do something with what I had, because I think that I was very just unusual, because I would just write stories. My mother would just, after my homework, I would just start writing stories. Just write stories. I would just start writing it just out of life, out of the blue. And I didn't know then that it was a gift. I just knew it was a passion that I loved to do it.
Well, you can still hear that passion. And I'm curious, what kind of dolls did you have?
Oh my God. Okay, now I'm gonna take you way back. Okay, I had Captain and Antonille.
Whoa!
I had the Diana Ross doll.
Really?
I had the Sarah Forster Barbie doll. I had like Baby Alive and all those other dolls. They were all in my scenes and they were all part of my stories.
Woo! Well, I tell you, you have me at Baby Alive. Let me tell you something. That is truly awesome. Awesome. Now, I was looking over your bio, which is so impressive. And there are many things that jumped out at me, but one of which, since we're talking about writing, you've written and directed several plays that reflect real life situations. And one of your most memorable plays was featured at the iconic Apollo Theater, entitled Damaged But Yet Destined. It featured Tony Award winner Melba Moore and Grammy Award winner Twinkie Clark, one of my favorite Clark sisters. Can you tell me why did you write that? And how did it become a full-blown production with these iconic stars participating?
You know, I always liked hearing about real stories, and I wanted this particular I wanted to do a story. I had done many plays, but I wanted to do a story that would give people solutions. And I wanted to get a story that people could relate to and leave away like, wow, you know what? I saw it portrayed that they made through a situation so I can make through. I wanted to write stories that would give people hope, encouragement, and also give them solutions. So I started talking to people and just listening to their stories. I work in the mental health field, and I've heard a lot of trauma, and I heard a lot of stories, and I've been like, wow, you know, there's a lot of things that people don't know when you talk to a person. You know, we say we know them, but you don't really know them until you hear the story. And I began gathering stories together, and Melba Moore even shared her story with me, and and she was willing to act out a part of her story at the Apollo Theater, you know, just things that she had gone through and hurts that she had been through, and you know, and so I had her act out some of her story. It was this particular play, the Apollo, was different segments. I had one of my friends who was kidnapped. And she was kidnapped, and she was beaten, and they would not let her go. And she just started praying and crying. Lo and behold, her mother was praying because she couldn't find her. For some reason, they don't know why, they threw her off the truck and released her to go. And I taught, you know, and I showed this was one of the part of the story I showed at the Apollo Theater. I had another person who wanted to share, you know, was really honest. I wanted to share with you, I was a prostitute. You know, and when we told these stories, people were like, oh my gosh, that's a part of my life I did not want to share. But when you showed it on stage, it brought healing. It brought restoration. It let me know that, you know what, I can still be something. I can still go for my dreams, even though my past, I was broken, I was damaged, but yet I still have destiny.
You know, Karen, that is so powerful what you just shared, because one of the elements that media possess is the power to really bring about change in ways that we can't even begin to imagine. I remember one time when we did one of our programs during the Sundance Film Festival, we actually had a screening program that we highlight women of color filmmakers during the Sundance Film Festival, and we featured a film where it was an emotional roller coaster. And what ended up happening was, you know, we had a Q&A after the screening, and this young lady stood up and, I mean, boo-hoo cried.
Wow.
Boo-hoo cried and said, this film have changed my life. Now, the filmmakers took it from a real life story and, you know, acted out. And I guess that root was where, you know, a lot of that truth, I believe this young lady felt. So you are on to something great. I would say continue to do it, because it is time that we have a lot of healing opportunities, if you will.
Yeah, and you know, Terra, media is such a way to do, because we can reach, you know, across the country, you know, without being there actually, you know, physically. And if we can use that platform so that to facilitate people's healing, to facilitate you know, their restoration, you know, and that's you know, one of my goals. I don't want to just write to write, but when people hear my story or see my story, I want them to say, you know what, that touched my heart, where my life has changed. I want to do things differently now. I want to go for something that I've never gone, that I've never experienced before that I've never gone to. I want to go to a place I've never been in my life. I really want the message to change people, and I really wanted to inspire and encourage people. I don't want to just to write, but I want my writing to give life to people. And
that is
that's
awesome.
one of my goals.
That is truly, truly awesome. And also, to my listening audience, Miss Karen, you heard me earlier, she is an actress, and she has traveled extensively facilitating and teaching acting techniques, workshops in St. Martin, Africa, Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana, and throughout the States. Can you share about that experience with our audience?
Sure. That's another passion of mine, is traveling. I love to travel. That's why COVID was a little difficult in the fact that I couldn't get up and go as I'm accustomed to going, but God had other plans. I was able to sit still and write. But I used to travel with a group, and it was this couple that just saw talent in me, and they said, we want you to travel with us. So they took me, and actually my husband, who wasn't my husband at that time, he did rapping and lyrics, and my brother. And so we put on this whole production in different countries, and they would do the music aspect, and I would do the drama aspect, and I would do workshops with children, adults. I teach them, and then in the evening we'd have a big production. And we did this for years. We would just travel from, like I said, Jamaica. We went to West Kenya, Ghana, and the people really loved it. And sometimes we would just combine music. I do a lot of musicals too. I would combine the music and the theater, and that would draw the kids in because they love the music as well. And it was really such a great, it was a great experience. And it is such a self-esteem builder. I saw it build self-esteem in the children. I saw what the theater, what the acting did for them, how it made them feel good. It made kids who didn't want to talk. It made them come to life. And so not only is acting just for entertainment, but it is a tool. It is a tool to build people up, to build up their self-esteem. It is really a tool that I have also used in the mental health industry.
Karen, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. We have to go to break. We'll be right back after these messages. You're listening to Talk with Terra, presented by African American Women in Cinema, right here on Rudy Radio. I want to talk more about the mental health. That's a good point. We'll be right back.
Guys, we're friends, right? Well, the sign of a true friend is when they discover something good, they share it with you. And that's what I'm going to do today. This is Loretta's British Ginger Tea. It is amazing. It's got 100% ginger, cinnamon, elderberry, and Manuka honey. Gotta admit, don't know what Manuka honey is, not even sure what it does for you, but it just sounds healthy, so I need some. This tea is fantastic for boosting your immune system, helps you feel good, and you'll live out loud like our beautiful British friend Loretta Nakwacha. Please hit her up on Instagram, order some of this tea, and she is at farmers markets and pop-up shops everywhere. You gotta get some of this stuff. Not only is it good for you, but it tastes great. Loretta's British Ginger Tea. I got some, you need it too. Go and order now.
We're having a conversation with African American filmmakers. Join the African American Women in Cinema Filmmaker Series at the Clubhouse, presented by I Am the Color of Beautiful Global, every Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. AAWIC on Clubhouse. Join us on the Clubhouse app for this inspiring conversation. Hosted by Karen Moore, founder of I Am the Color of Beautiful Global. Join us this Monday at 6 p.m. on the Clubhouse app for African American Women in Cinema's Filmmaker Series.
Hi, I'm Harry O. Confetti, international Formula One driver. I spent to get to Long Island Telecom before they closed. I need to get one of these fantastic deals that Long Island Telecom has, because you can't beat the price anywhere else. Oh, get away from that car. What are you doing? Freaking kids playing with the car out there. Anyway, I'm glad I got here. Wait, what do you mean you're closing? I gotta come back tomorrow? What's your number? 631-833-9679? Oh, stop writing me a ticket.
Hey, this is Jewel Taker from the Jewel Taker Show on Impact Network. Also, you can watch me and my family on The Tankers on Prime Amazon, or watch me and my sister's Chatter Talk show on Fox. So me and my girls, Dr. Dee Freeman, Monique Eilert Mosley, Real Talk Kim, and Holly Carter, and you're watching Rudy Radio.
Welcome back to Talk with Terra. I'm Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema, and today we have the dynamic Karen Wilson, aka Miss Broadway. Thank you so much for being here again with us today. Karen, when we right before we went to break, we talked about, well, actually, you made mention of mental health, and that is so important, especially today during these times. We're still dealing with the pandemic, and I've heard that mental health issues have really skyrocketed based on what transpired. And just recently, we celebrated 9/11.
Yeah.
And I tell you, not celebrating in terms of, the tragedy that took place, but we took time to honor the victims and be supportive of the family and the first line responders, to those who really put their life on the line to try to help others. And I was truly stunned, Karen, and you know exactly the program I'm referring to, where we saw some of the 911 operators who were actually on the line that fateful day, really talking to people, trying to give them hope in a real terrible situation. Some did not make it. And to see that wound so fresh and raw, even years later, it was just something to really experience. I want to know, what drew you into mental health, wanting to just really get into that, and if you can share, some of your experience in getting into that field.
Sure. You know what? I did not even study this field. My background is communication arts and television production, and I had no idea that I would end up in the field of mental health. It wasn't, I can't even say it was a desire of mine. I'll be honest with you. I had a very narrow mind when it came to mental health. I had the wrong mindset. And I'm telling you, but when I landed in mental health because being from actually like a background of teaching and social work, they were looking for someone and to basically teach classes, to those that were suffering from depression. And I even told the CEO, I said, I don't have experience. I said, but I have personal friends who are battling mental illness, and I've been there for them. And they said, that's what we need. And since then, I've been in the field. And I've gone from counseling and now I train staff to work with people with mental illness and to help. And my position is more of empowerment, to help them, to empower people to get back into life, to get back to work, get back to pursuing their dreams. So I train staff. And I actually, my mind was so opened up when I went to this field. I fell in love with the whole industry, realizing that we have a lot of people that are gems that we have overlooked and underestimated because we have said that something is wrong with them, that they are off, and that we have just totally turned, have totally stigmatized them because of mental illness. And then all of a sudden I started running into more people with mental illness, people in the industry, entertainment people, celebrities that I would counsel behind stage, people that I would counsel before they got on stage, just to kind of like a coach, telling them that they can do it. And people just started crossing my path that were in the industry that battle with mental illness. A lot of singers, a lot of entertainers, a lot of actors, a lot of directors. I can't say this was me. I would say this is totally God that put me in the path of mental illness, and how the two begin to merge together, the mental illness and the entertainment, because as you know, there are so many people in the entertainment industry dealing with mental illness. And
no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it has been I feel so honored and blessed that God put me in a position to just speak life into them and to go on the journey with them and to be there for them. So a lot of them are forsaken. A lot of them don't know who to share this with because there's a stigma that comes with it. So, so I've used a lot of my stories to address mental illness as well, mental health.
Karen, you certainly hit the nail on the head in a lot of areas. Well, for one, a lot of people in entertainment, a lot of people may not know that folks in the entertainment industry suffer with this. One of the reasons why is just I did not do research at all. It's just my own opinion based on me just dealing with filmmakers and those in the industry. There's been a lot of emphasis on just get the big break, so tunnel vision is developed. Let me take my work, fine tune my talent, and let the talent take me to that quote unquote big break. But the problem is, and there's a time that you have to have that, or, there's a season to do exactly that. However, you must take time to deal with everything else that's concerning you. Exactly. Before you get the big break.
There you go. There you go.
Because what happens is when, you now step on this stage, you are truly under a microscope. And it's like, if I sneeze, that's on the cover of Time magazine.
Exactly.
And these are extraordinary situations and circumstances that, to manage, outside of or in addition to what you normally deal with in life. Going to a mall or a store rather, and suddenly being recognized by all these strangers, and they want to come to you and get your autograph and take photos. This type of interaction requires a lot, and it really should. People who are privileged to engage in these type of activities really need to come from, as much as possible, a place of wholeness.
Yes.
Because being fractured, and trying to uphold and maintain what you suddenly obtain, it can be really, really at some point burdensome. And that's where, some people unfortunately rely on, they become chemically dependent on substance, and they're, can spiral out. And so I'm glad that you brought this up, and I'm glad that you're there to assist. But if anything I can share in this particular portion to those who are listening, please, your self is worth the health. Wealth is Health. Health is wealth.
That's right. That's right. Self-perseverance. Yeah.
So thank you for sharing. And we'll be right back after these messages. You'll listen to Talk with Terra, presented by African American Women in Cinema, right here on Rudy Radio.
I'm Dan O'Shea, Executive Director for Maureen's Haven Homeless Outreach. It is our mission to support the homeless in our community. We provide an emergency winter shelter program, a day center, and support services to help the homeless in our community. With your help, we can continue to provide services so critically needed to the homeless in our community. Please visit www.maureen'shaven.org or call us at 631-727-683.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to Rudy Radio.
Welcome back to Talk with Terra. I am Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema, and today we are talking with Miss Karen. Miss Karen, thank you so much for being here. And we were just sharing right before we went on break about mental health and how important that is to talk about it, to deal with it, because everyone here has a mind, right? Right, Miss Karen?
That's right. Everybody has a mind. And just like your kidneys can get sick, your arm can break, your mind can get sick. But we don't like to talk about a lot. We don't like to address a lot because, like I said, there's a lot of stigma that comes with it. And one of the classes I teach to those that are dealing with depression is how to deal with what I feel, because a lot of times we don't deal with what we feel. And then you get, like you were saying, Terra Renee, when you get out there, it's like you're so worried about the break that you don't even regard your own feelings. You don't deal with what you're really feeling. So if you don't deal with the break, if you don't deal with that stuff that concerning the break, it can break you. It could break your heart. It could break your mind. It could break your emotions. So you got to deal with the break before it breaks you. Because there are many people that they're running for their big dream, and they're running and they're sacrificing. They're sacrificing their health. They're sacrificing their integrity to get there. And then they get there for the break and they're broken, and they can't even enjoy the break because they're so broken. And so I've run into so many broken people in the entertainment industry, and that have been so because they can't keep up with the so-called status, because, it's this year is this one, the next year is somebody else. And then you feel like you're aging out, or you feel like you're this and that. And so they feel like they've been forsaken, and they're trying to keep up with the status. But what are you giving up to get that status? And so your mental health is so important. Your emotional state is so important. And we forget those things, and we have to continue to, guard those things. And those are things that I also address in some of my plays and upcoming film, because we've got to take care of ourselves. If you're no good, you can't be any good to anybody else. If you are your greatest marketing tool is you.
That's so true. That's so true. And the more whole you are, I remember listening to a conversation that Oprah had with Miss Van Zant, and just found it so intriguing. And they basically came to an agreement and understanding that you have to operate out of an element of overflow. And it's just, the overflow is you pouring into other people because you're full, you're whole, and then you can go the distance. And this is not to say, that you have those days where, you're ready to, maybe scream out or whatever the case may be. But we're talking about really just dealing with the areas, like you said, Karen, that you have forsaken, some old trauma. People be amazed at how old trauma can become a trigger to where they are in their successful place.
That's
and
right.
could really ruin some opportunities. But no one really talks about that.
Talk about it.
So, Miss Karen, on this subject, what do you think have caused such a negative stigma towards dealing with mental health?
The same, I would say media, unfortunately. They highlight the negativity. They highlight those that are shooting up buildings. And once again, you hear that, that person was depressed, or that person was schizophrenia. They highlight these things. If someone, the person in Colorado, they had this kind of mental illness. And so what happens is that now mental illness is always associated with violence. And is also, associated with going AWOL and killing and homicide. And this one was diagnosed with this. Yeah, he was a gang, maybe he was diagnosed. And what happens is that those things are highlighted. But through my statistics, my studies, the majority of people with mental illness are not prone to violence and are not prone to killing people. And the people that commit, a lot of people that, there's more people that commit crimes that do not have a mental illness. You know what I'm saying? So people don't want to associate with that because it makes them feel like, well, people are going to think I'm going to go AWOL. People think I'm going to go violent. People think I'm cray-cray. I'm crazy. And I but there's some very smart people that have mental illness. I remember Robin Williams died. Intelligent man, great actor, but he suffered with mental illness. And many of them, Jennifer Holliday has come to the forefront. Awesome talent, has admitted that she had suffered with mental illness. So many of them, so it's, we have to deal with the stigma and we have to bring it to light, else people are going to suffer in darkness. And then when you're in darkness, you get tormented because there's no one, you don't feel like you can talk to anybody. So I think we've got to get the stigma off of mental illness because media is the one that has really done a lot of the stigmatizing, and we have to use media to help to pull that stigma off, to bring awareness and more knowledge and more healing and more health. We've got to work together to do that. Use those platforms.
Agree. Yeah, I agree. I believe I like her a lot, Taraji P. Henson.
Yeah.
She actually has a foundation that deals with that. And I'm glad that she took that and utilized her platform to, as you just said, Karen, to bring it in a positive light.
Yes.
That it is okay to say, yes, I'm dealing with this, but I want to get some support. I want to get help so I can be, whole and move forward and be the best that I can possibly be. And it is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Right. So I tell you, so any further advice as it relates to mental health that you can share with our audience?
I would just encourage people that, deal with what you feel. Don't suppress it. Be in the right company that can be honest with you. And that's in anything that we do. Be in the right company. Be with the right tribe. Be with the tribe that can help you. Be with the tribe that's going to be able to say, listen, you got to, pull your skirt up, pull your pants up, you're bleeding. Let me help you. Let me bring you to the hospital, get you some help. Be with the right tribe. Be with the right people. Be with those that will encourage you, that will inspire you. If that will say, you know what, you're off today. Something's not right. Let's talk about this thing. Got to be around the right people. We got to hold ourselves accountable to one another. We need each other. You know,
Yeah, I love what you're saying. The right tribe, and even those listen to me now. My whole prayer is that you find them, because I know that one of the reasons why people tend to shy away from sharing is that we are experiencing a serious hypercritical era. Where folks just want to just completely go to the negative about a person as if they don't have anything negative going on. We're all perfectly imperfect, So one of the things that I try to do in that understanding with my tribe, they know that they can come to me because I am a emotionally safe place. I definitely seek to create that space for them so they can, unburden themselves, and then we can get to the heart of the matter, because I don't want to see people suffering. I don't want to see it. And so if there's a way that I can assist and alleviate that, within my power, I certainly will try to do so. And I certainly appreciate that advice that you've given to the audience. I want to switch gears a little bit here. I know we touched on the fact of your acting, and you traveled and showed different techniques, but there's a name that stand out to me in your bio. I want to just bring that to light, and if you can talk a little bit about that. Hollywood producer Stu Weiss. Former producer, executive producer of This Nation. How did that come to be? And if you can share with the audience exactly, what happened in that transaction.
Sure. There was a reality show, and they were looking for people. They were looking for speakers, motivators, people that were charismatic, and they picked people from all across the United States. And there was a girl went to my church. She said, you should submit your video, just submit your video, submit your reel. They're looking for people. They're looking for people from all around the state. And they're going to select, I guess, like the top 10 out of what they get. So I said, all right. So I just put in one of my videos. It was called Breaking the Box. And it was a message that I had spoken. And I put in the video, and I got a call for them that producer is interested in you competing in this reality show. And I'll be honest with you, I said, at first I did not want to do it. I said, because I don't like competition like that. I don't know, it's just me. I just don't, I'm not into the competition thing, that's just me. But I felt to go, so I agreed, and they brought me into California, and it was Stu. It was him, and he was there. We went to his studio where they also shoot the Ellen DeGeneres show at that time. And he brought me in, and we had all this so we were the last. I guess we were about maybe about 10. Well, actually, it was like 20 of us there, and then we had to do all these things. We had to do some motivational speaking. We had to do some counseling. It was really reality show like American Idol or one of those other reality shows, and we had to do these different segments. We had to pick from the audience and give them advice, but even do a little singing. It was a combination of everything.
Well, Karen, I want to hear more about it, but we have to take another commercial break. But please don't forget to share this episode on social media. You're listening to Talk with Terra, powered by African American Women in Cinema, right here on Rudy Radio.
Hi, I'm Dan O'Shea, Executive Director for Maureen's Haven Homeless Outreach. It is our mission to support the homeless in our community. We provide an emergency winter shelter program, a day center, and support services to help the homeless in our community. With your help, we can continue to provide services so critically needed to the homeless in our community. Please visit www.maureen'shaven.org or call us at 631-727-6833.
Welcome back to Talk with Terra. I am Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema. And today we're talking with the fabulous Miss Karen Wilson, Miss Karen Broadway. She was just sharing with us this phenomenal opportunity prior to us going to break. Miss Karen, please continue.
Sure. So what happens, we went to the competition, and also Omarosa was one of the judges. And
Wow.
yes, Stu, for some reason, we just clicked. There were so many different contestants. It was really, Holly was a little brutal, I'll be honest with you. They were very competitive. People didn't like each other. There was a whole lot of talking about each other. It was just horrible. But I made up my mind, I'm going to do what I do. I just encouraged everybody. Even though we were competing, I was like, I'm going to encourage everybody to do their best. I came down to 10 people, came down to 5 people. And when it came down to it, I won the competition. Omarosa really, I'll say that she was very harsh on a lot of people, but for some reason she was very kind with me. And she wanted me to win the competition, and I ended up winning the competition.
Wow.
And I'm in touch with Stu to this day. And it was just a phenomenal opportunity. For some reason we just clicked, and he liked what I said, and we just clicked, and it was just an open door to me to inspire others. The most I got, more than winning the reality show, I enjoyed inspiring others, that people had put down, the underdogs. I think that when we are in a position and people elevate us, I think it's our job, to reach back and to encourage and to inspire. And I thank God for that opportunity, and it was really, it was rough, because Hollywood, it's not an easy place. It's not an easy place.
I know.
You have to have a lot of tough skin. But it was a great connection, and I'm grateful to have won that competition.
Well, great, and congratulations. So now, what are you working on? What's coming down the pipe?
Well, I am working on a film called Tried by Fire, which I started writing during COVID, and it deals with a lot of things that we've dealt in our world: racism, deals with mental health, love, action, a little bit of everything. And it's really such a divine download, because this film came to me like water. It was just running, like it just was just flowing. And I could truly say that I'm excited about it, because some of the stuff I don't even think I wrote. It was just God. So I'm excited about it. And he's putting all the pieces together in getting ready to work on the trailer in November. And then from there, we'll start filming the complete film.
That is awesome. So this is going to be a full-length feature?
Yes, it is. Full-length feature. And I'm excited about it, because it deals with a lot of stuff that sometimes we don't like to talk about, in the spiritual community, in the religious community, including mental illness, that we don't like to talk about. And we don't like to talk about people in leadership having weaknesses and struggles. We like to think that everything has Mary Kay on it and Safara and Mac on it. But no, underneath there's some bleeding, there's some brokenness, there's a lot of stuff going on even in the spiritual community. So we deal with a lot of that too.
That is good. Anyone that we know will be in the movie?
Yes, I'm honored to have Vera Moore, entrepreneur and actress, who's also on Broadway. And
yes,
Vera, I'm glad to have Vera aboard. And we also have Melba Moore. We have Melba, the Apollo Theater. Glad that she's going to be on it. She's going to be doing 2 songs in the movie and a little bit of acting for us there. So we're excited. And I know we're going to see a little cameo of you.
Oh, whoa. You hear that, audience? I'm getting my star debut. Karen went to my head. I'm the star. That is awesome. Well, I truly admire you and your work and just what you bring, to media, what you have to offer, your giftings is amazing. And I know that it's going to really help so many people. So bless you for doing this, and just really embracing the call and going forth and letting the whole world see this type of project, because it's needed. It's needed, Karen. And, you know, I'm just humbled and just super excited. And certainly to be a part of it is icing on the cake. So that's the surprise, audience. You want to see me in this movie? I'm so excited.
I'm excited. You know what? I was so honored because one of the principal leads in our cast, she's playing the main part. We just went to the city this weekend. She was in a pageant and she just won Miss USA in the pageant.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's great.
Yeah. And so I'm so happy to have such a talented cast. I must say everybody in the cast is just so talented, you know, and I'm blessed, you know, and it was just a good fit with everyone that's playing the part. And, you know, and I think that's so important. You have to have the right people with you, who understand the vision. And, you know, I'm the one that's honored.
That's good. Is this going to be your directorial debut, or who's directing it?
I'm going to be directing. I've directed plenty of theater, so now I'll be directing film. And then
Wonderful.
I'm also getting some consultation from a production company in California as well. But I'm going to be directing it, and
all right.
Yes, I'm excited.
Excellent. That is just, I mean, I can't wait. So I'm going to be there 2 hours ahead of my time to shoot. Awesome. Could you please, Miss Karen, tell the audience where they can like and follow you on social media?
Sure. I'm on Instagram. It's under my name, Karen Broadway Wilson. That's my full name. You know, when I first started out, people thought I made up the name Broadway, but that actually is my name. Broadway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Broadway Wilson. All right.
I went on auditions, and one lady actually said, "You know what? You could just say your regular name. You don't have to make up a name to get in." I was like, "Miss, look at my license. This is my name."
Ooh, well, go ahead. All right.
Yeah. And so I'm on Instagram under my name, and I'm on Facebook, on LinkedIn. So if you just see my name, it'll say Karen Broadway Wilson.
Excellent. And how could people be of support to what you're doing? All the things that you're doing is just absolutely amazing. I know, you know, COVID kind of altered a lot of people way of doing business. A lot of people have shifted online now. And they have, you know, Zoom classes, they have Patreon memberships. Do you have any of those types of activities that people can support?
I'm in the process right now of building that up because we're going into promotion mode and campaign mode. So within the next 2 weeks, I will have all that posted on my social media, and people will know how to reach out to us, support. And so within the next 2 weeks, we should have that rolling.
Oh, that's all. Do you have a website, Miss Broadway?
That's what we're working on. That's what we're working on right in this moment. So that should be here within a week, and then everything should be done within 2 weeks. Yes.
That sounds great. And what words of inspiration can you leave our audience with? You know, I'm super excited to have learned that we have a lot of young people, a lot of millennials that listen to this show, and you know, their time in this era certainly is way different than my time. Now, I'm not going to say how old I am, but I'm a little bit older than the millennials. But you know, a lot of things that they face, I didn't have to face, you know, when I was their age. And so I know that the more that we can encourage them and inspire them would definitely, you know, help them along the way. So what words of inspiration would you like to say to them at this time?
I would say be humble and be willing to learn from those that know more than you. Be willing to receive constructive criticism. Sometimes we think we know it all and that we've been there and we've done that. And be humble and get around those that know more, and be willing to take some constructive criticism. When I was in the middle of this film, I brought in a team and I said, I need y'all to flush this film out for me. I need you to tell me what I need to work on. I need you to tell me. I brought about 5 or 6 people in just to flush out. I had them to read them. We came back. They gave me comments. Some things I had to reshape. Some things I'm like, Karen, that doesn't fit here. And I had to be willing to say, okay, that's good, because we need to, I need that. I need that accountability. I need that help. So be willing to receive help and to receive constructive criticism, and to be around those that know more than you. It's okay. We need those. I think the millennials need I forgot the generation before the baby boomers. That's where I am. And then we need the baby boomers. We all need each other. We have to bridge this gap, because we all need to connect with one another. And I'm learning that I love to learn. I mean, I love sometimes to surround the old people. I'm telling you, they got stuff to just, baby. I love to be around them old people because they got some wisdom. I wasn't in that time, so I love to hear about. I love to hear about that old school wisdom, and so be around people that know more than you do, and sit around a creative team when you're doing stuff. Get some inputs and some other perspectives and some other eyes on what you're doing, some other ears on what you're doing, and that will give you great success.
That is truly awesome, and I thank you for sharing that. And that is true. I had to chuckle when you said the baby, because once they say that word, the older person say, baby, here it comes. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. But Miss Karen, you are absolutely on point with everything you just shared. I really appreciate you sharing that. And this is how, we are all here for an allocated amount of time.
That's right.
And while you're here, it would benefit you to really pursue your purpose in life. And getting around, just as Karen said, folks who have went before you and have experienced certain things in life. They can share with you some of the pitfalls that you may not understand it at the time that they're delivering it to you. But as you progress along in life, you will be able to have a good reference point that you can say, I remember when Miss Karen Broadway said, baby, here it comes. And so, this is why I believe we are here to shed light on the process that we've been on and continue to be on until it's our time to make our transition. But this is a way that we give back. And if we can help and improve others along the way, certainly that's why we're here. I know that is the heart of Karen, to see as many successful people as possible, because things are changing swiftly. Time is moving.
Yes.
So much, Karen, is happening. I mean, I was just looking at the weather pattern.
Yeah.
We're getting, you see that? Like once in a century storms are happening so often now.
Mm-hmm.
Within the same year. I was really surprised to hear, we had Hurricane Henri. I was saying Henry.
Me too.
And then Ida. Did you know about Ida?
Where did Ida come from? Snuck up on us.
But people were giving stories, in big cities, how it affected them, and particularly New York. I was hearing stories, and so, it's the pressures are changing. There's a lot that's going on, and you really need to, as much as possible, if you can have what I call anchors, insightful anchors that can help keep you rooted and grounded when you're facing the uncertainties of life. And it may, on the onset, present itself in a panicky type of perception, but listening to the words that others who have gone before you, you can embrace them. You will find peace that truly will surpass all understanding at
That's
the
right.
moment.
And you know
And
what, Terra?
yes, ma'am.
You have to remember that we can't give up because, you know, sometimes you ever start something and you stop and then you don't go back to it and you start and you stop. I've learned one thing, that I have to be persistent. I have to keep moving because we'll get so distracted and we're on to something else. Well, we have
Yes.
to learn how to, I call it like you gotta learn how to stick with something. You know, you gotta have some sticktivity. We gotta learn how to stick with stuff. You know,
That's
we're
right.
so good at starting something and stopping. Well, where's your book? Well, I started 2 years ago. Well, where's your... It's like we have to learn how to stick with it, you know, and even through the distractions, through all the tragedy we've been through, we still got to, bottom line is we had to stick with the vision. And not that's always going to be easy, but we have to stick with it, you know. Sometimes that's our therapy.
That's
You know?
true. That's true. That's true.
Use that to be our therapy. And I think we have to also stick with stuff. You know, we're so quick to give up on stuff if it don't go the right way or we don't have the finances of that, you know. Keep going. When we keep going, stick with stuff. Don't worry, the other stuff will follow you. If you stay with the vision and you stick with it, that stuff will catch up with you.
Sure will. It sure will. Living proof. Living proof. Well, I don't know where the time went, but they're telling me that we have to go. Thank you so much, Miss Karen Broadway Wilson, for being here with us today. Thank you, listen audience, for listening to Talk with Terra. I'm Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema organization. You can visit us at www.aawic.org. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter and like us on Facebook. Talk with Terra is made possible by Rude Rangers Entertainment. Our creative director is Rudy J. Breedy. Please don't forget to like and share this episode with as many people as possible. We sincerely appreciate you joining us today, and we wish you continued peace and blessings and prosperity. See you next episode.